In our last episode, we had to say goodbye to the tiny home we have been building for the last few months.
We had to leave Colombia, so we took a 7-hour bus ride to Bogota before buying the cheapest one-way flights we could find and arriving in our new mystery destination. We're excited to share our adventures in this new country with you.
But first, we want to tell you why we had to leave Colombia.
We're Josiah and Lauda, and we exchanged traditional comforts for a life filled with adventure, peace, and freedom when we moved into our van Paz in June of 2021.
Join us as we explore alternative ways of living outside the system.
Okay, so we've been kicked out of a lot of countries. This is not the first time. And going back to the beginning of our relationship, all the way through, we've had to move around in order to be together because of immigration laws, right?
Yeah. Since we met in Miami in 2019, and I left the country because my visa expired.
And you came back in 2021?
Yeah, for traveling the van.
And you stayed for 6 months and then you had to leave because of your visa.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I went to Colombia 2 separate times, just for a few weeks at a time.
And then I tried to go to the States, and because I already was 6 months, I couldn't enter to the country again.
So then we went to Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, so Mexico, you had a 90-day visa, and we stayed all the way to day number 90.
We eloped in Mexico because we talk about what's the easiest way to be together, because we want to be together. So we decided to, okay, let's get married so we can make things easier. That's what we thought.
We had our celebration of love in Mexico, but then after Mexico, we went to Colombia, and in Colombia is where we actually signed the paperwork to get married.
Yeah.
And we figured, okay, now that we're married, we're gonna be able to be together. But
it's just the beginning.
so we applied for the marriage visa in the United States, and that was just over 6 months ago. We're still waiting on the interview, but in the meantime, I spent 3 months in Colombia, and then I had to leave because I only had a 90-day visa. And then I came back, and I stayed another 3 months this last year, and I had to leave for the 3-month visa, and I couldn't come back because I had stayed 6 months within 1 year. And that's how we ended up in Ecuador. Crazy, we bought a one-way ticket
because we don't know when to come back to Colombia, because if you go to Colombia, the 6 months start counting.
We're not asking anyone to feel bad for us, right? Like, we get to travel and that's amazing.
But what about those people that cannot see their family or their husband because they are in another country and they are separate? For me, like, the system they make laws to separate people. And it's really sad because we're doing this because of love. We want to be together and enjoy our love. And we feel forced to find different ways to be together, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people aren't able to be together, right? So especially nowadays, more and more people are meeting from different countries. And I'm not saying that I have the solution of this is the law that needs to be passed and then the whole immigration system will be better. I'm just simply saying that for us it's been challenging, and I imagine for other people it's even more challenging. I've talked to people that have been waiting for years, and we're not trying to pick on the US immigration system. This is happening in so many different countries. And for us, something should change. Whether that's hiring more people to review the application so it's a quicker process, What we're waiting on now is someone to interview Laura in order to verify that we have a valid marriage. And the fact that this can take a year of waiting just to set up this appointment, I mean, that seems like it could be solved by just hiring more people and dedicating more resources. And being together, being with your loved ones, I feel like is one of the most important things that you can do. And I would hope that a government would see that and want to support its citizens in achieving that.
From the moment we stepped foot in Ecuador, we felt so welcome. The people here have been so kind, friendly, and helpful, which is consistent with the Ecuadorian culture.
The city of Quito has preserved a number of colonial buildings throughout its historical city center. Some of our favorite things about Quito is that you can walk almost anywhere. And the places you can't walk to, you have lots of cheap public transportation options. Finally, our favorite thing is that we felt safe the whole time we were in Quito.
We should celebrate love, don't punish. Like the two people wants to be together, they're from different countries, just support that because love is the most beautiful and that's the way we understand each other, we understand different cultures and we empathize with different perspectives. This world already had a lot of fights and wars
this is nothing new, like being separated because of your differences. I mean, they've been doing this to us from since we were born, right? Race, religion, culture, sexual orientation, the list goes on, right? And putting us in these little boxes from when we're born, saying like, oh, you're this and she's that, and it doesn't mix. Or if it does mix, you have to jump through all of these hoops. And yeah, I get it. Certain people definitely had it harder in the past, where like it was illegal to get married, and we're at least permitted to get married. But it's been a journey.
Yeah. When this trip finished, we don't know what else we have to do to be together.
A special shout out to Carlos for hosting us during our time in Quito. Carlos and I first met when I was backpacking 6 years ago, and luckily have kept in touch after all these years. We're gonna make the most of what life has to offer. We didn't expect to be in Ecuador a couple years ago, but we don't need an excuse to travel. So when we get one, we'll just go with it.
And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like our channel.